Now that we've got our UI fully set up and we've got our NPC health script created, we're going to go ahead and start adding the variables we need to affect that health script or those UI elements accordingly. So what we want to do is open up our NPC health script, and again, you can do that by double-clicking it here or by going through our player and selecting our player health component. This is going to open up this script. We're going to want to click at the top and give ourselves some space by pressing enter a few times. And we're going to add just a few variables here. So we're going to say public integer health. This is going to represent our player's health, and we want to set that to 100. We're also going to have a public integer max health, which we will also set to 100 because our player, if they take damage, is going to be able to regenerate that health over time. And we want to know how much health to allow them to regenerate to. Next, we're going to add another public integer health regen amount. We're going to set that equal to 1. That's going to be the amount our health increases every time we get a tick. It's called a tick of our health regen. Next, we're going to add a public game object, game over. That's going to be a reference towards our game over game object and allow us to turn it off and back on when we die. We're going to add another public field. This time, it's going to be a slider, not a slider joint, a slider. And we're going to say slider health bar. Now, you'll notice we have this red underline here. And you might remember from earlier, we need to have a specific reference to our Unity Engine UI in order to use this slider class. So what we want to do is at the top of our script where it says using Unity Engine, we're going to press enter, type using Unity Engine. Again, make sure you capitalize the U and the E, and then .UI, and then add a semicolon. Make sure that UI is capitalized, and you'll see the slider goes from underlined with red to green, or at least gets rid of the underline. The text might not turn green. It depends on some settings you have. Lastly, we want to add one more variable for public text health text. That's just going to allow us to reference those objects easily in our script. The next thing we want to do before we move on is we want to save. So Control S, Command S, or go up to File and hit Save Assets. We're going to go back to our game view here. And what we're going to do in our TA Night is look down at our player health component. And you'll see these three missing, or these fields that are empty that say none game object, none slider, and none text. All we have to do is go into our canvas object that we made previously, and we're going to drag our text and our sliders into here. So for our health, we're going to drag that into our health text. For our slider, we're going to drag that into the slider component here, our field. And then finally, our disabled game over text, we're going to drag into the game over field.